5 reasons why, in my experience, people don't get a coach. Reason 1, they're embarrassed that people will work out that they're having coaching, and as a result will have a view that they're not brilliant or perfect. So, name me an elite sportsman or sportswoman that doesn't have a coach. Name me an elite woman or sportswoman that isn't comfortable to talk about the coach they have, the training they do, and how often they work, other than, of course, keeping the secrets to one side. And number 3, name me a sports person or an elite sports woman or man that you wouldn't, in some way, like to rock and roll like. So if you had the equivalence of Cristiano Ronaldo in your business, if you had the equivalence of Chris Froome or Bradley Wiggins in your industry, if you had the equivalence of Jessica Ennis-Hill, if you don't, there's no need to be embarrassed. Point 2, they think that it's too expensive. So what would I say to that? Well, I've helped many people get into 6-figure jobs. I've helped many people manage and strategize billion-pound organisations. And I have saved people probably 2 to 3 years, if not more, on their trajectory of being the leader that they're capable of being. So, billions worth of responsibility, 3 or 4 years worth of salary. You do the maths. Number 3, they think it's like therapy. Well, there's a big difference between therapy and coaching. Broadly, therapy tends to sit in the past and seek deeply to understand why, and often revolves going deeper and deeper and deeper. There are some proactive, forward-thinking therapies available, but that's broadly the view that people have of counselling. Coaching, on the other hand, says, what is it you want to achieve? Why do you want to achieve that? What difference would it make? What's happening now? Okay. When does it work well? When does it not work so well? Not necessarily looking at why if we don't really need to, because it's amazing that the brain actually, when forced to, enables itself to work out, well, in order to get from where I am to where I want to be, or from where I am to where I want to be, I just need to do this. And it's amazing that working out how to go there or go there and overcoming any internal barriers that happen as a result of that means that we don't need to dwell on the deep, meaningful stuff unless it bites you on the ass repeatedly and prevents you from taking the steps you need to take. So it's not therapy, it's coaching. It's future, forward-looking, facilitating conversation. And by the same token, based on my experience, if you need it and you can't think of a way forward, I'll give you a view. But you will still take the responsibility away of identifying whether it's the best approach for you. If so, why? If not, why not? It's coming up with your version of that approach and committing to it going forward. It's not therapy. Fourthly, you don't have the time. You don't have the time. So let's think about it. If we go back to point 1, sports coaching, they make time. Because in order to be the best, you make the time to be the best. That's very blunt and direct, but it's the reality. In my first year of working as a professional coach, after every single intervention that I had, whether it be a conversation, a coaching call, a meeting, a presentation, a one-to-one, a branch visit when I used to work for Nationwide, whatever it might be, I would reflect on what I did well, what it was I did that to bring about, and how I could do more. What it was that didn't go so well, what I would do differently next time, and how I would bring that about after every single intervention. By the age of 25, I was coaching senior leaders, and at the age of 42, I oversaw a third of the UK for Santander, having been out of the business and leadership world for nearly 8 years. I went back in, kicked ass. Why? Because I essentially coached myself, but not everybody can do that. So invest in a coach. If you haven't got the time, you're doing something wrong. If you haven't got the time, you're working too hard. If you haven't got the time and you're a senior leader, you aren't delegating enough. And if you haven't got the time, you're going to too many meetings, you're doing too much work that shouldn't be being done by you, and you're not thinking effectively and easy for me to say, strategizing your time. So it's an excuse, which is probably based on the elements that went before. Reason 5 is your reason. It might be one of the 4 above, it might be all 4. But my question for you is, why aren't you getting a coach? Whether it's me or somebody else, why aren't you getting a coach? In truth, it might be because you've not worked with a good one. Try me out. Try me out. Prices are good. My intent is phenomenal. And broadly, I was born to coach. That's what I do. So if you'd like to have a chat, see whether you like me. I'm not this bullish in real life, but I think it's important to be so here. Drop me a note at hello@thelittleboat.iaw.co.uk, or say hello on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and we'll have a chat. And I'll turn up in a t-shirt, no pretense, just purely aimed at helping you to rock and roll. Ta-ta for now.